Good evening, Lexbots. In this video, I'm gonna be going over one of my favorite video games of all times. Like, I'm seriously obsessed with this game. I have beat it 3 times now, 1 in Nightmare mode, 1 in Hard, and 1 in Medium. And I have all the achievements. And I'm pretty sure this game is made by EA Games. So in this video, I'm gonna be going over none other than Alice Madness Returns. And I know I said that I was not going to revisit Alice in Wonderland. And then I also realized I never really did any videos for Alice in Wonderland, even though I've done this theme 2 times now. I also want to say a really quick, huge thank you. This channel just reached 250,000 subscribers today. That is just absolutely unbelievable. It's really unbelievable. Just thank you guys so much, and I'll definitely be making a video about it in the future, but right now, I'm a rabbit. All products do stay listed somewhere around the video, and don't forget to go to Facebook and check out my page, Made You Look by Lex, and like it. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, feel free to contact me. I'm gonna start off by putting on my hat and making a little white line with eyeliner to show where it ends. There's no point in having makeup on underneath your hat if it's gonna cover it anyways. I'm gonna continue to use that same white eyeliner by Urban Decay to sketch out where the eyes are gonna go, where the nose is gonna go, and basic features of the rabbit. I'm then going to fill in those basic features, first starting with the eyes. I'm using the Made You Look eyeshadow brush and Mehron Paradise paint in white. On your eyelid, you may also want to add white eyeshadow just to prevent creasing later on. I'm then going to use the Made You Look angled brush and fill in my teeth with yellow Paradise paint, and also fill in the nose with red. From there, I'm going to use a light gray eyeshadow and the Made You Look eyeshadow brush to shade the eye. It's easiest to look at a photo of the eye while trying to do this step. This is just going to be some basic shadows on the eye. We're going to add more to it later. Also lightly add in very light green for his iris. In the game itself, it's not well defined, but it does shine where it should be. Using the Made You Look angled brush, I'm adding dark gray shadow around the eye. Don't worry if it's a little bit messy, we can clean it up later. I'm then going to be taking Mehron Paradise paint in white and the Made You Look eyeshadow brush and adding its fur in the shape of its features. For this particular character, it goes up the nose and around the eyes. Then on the cheeks, it kind of goes outward from where the nose is and swirls back up towards the eye. You want it to have kind of brush strokes in it, not be completely smooth, so it looks a little broken up like fur. From there, I'm taking Mehron Paradise paint in Storm Cloud and I'm mixing it on my face while the paint is still wet. I'm giving the rabbit a little bit of an evil expression by making a triangle on the corner of his eye. As always, it's easiest to look at a photo of the character while trying to create these kinds of lines. I'm also bringing that gray underneath the eye, leaving a little bit of a white streak underneath. From there, continue to add waves of gray throughout the fur, stemming from the nose outwards towards the eye, similar to how you applied the white in the first place. Using the same gray, I'm also going to add his lower part of his chin. Taking the Made You Look angled brush, and then going in with a really dark gray eyeshadow and kind of just defining some of those areas. I'm also making it darker underneath his eye to give it a little bit of shadowing and a little bit more of a structure. As well as defining his brow bones and blending that out a bit. Also add a little bit of shading where his mouth is. I'm also casting a shadow on his lower jaw. And adding a little bit of shading on his nose, but leaving a white strip right above his nose. I'm also then going to thicken the line around his eyes. And go back in with black eyeshadow to make that line even darker. Continuing to use the Made You Look angled brush, I'm then going to go into his eyes towards the tear ducts and make them dark. This is going to give his eyes more of a round shape and give the illusion of rabbit eyes. I'm then very lightly using black and the Made You Look eyeshadow brush to further define his shading in his eyes from earlier. Use the Made You Look Dome brush to easily make pupils. And I'm using Mehron Paradise Paint in black. Go in with that same Paradise Paint and the Made You Look Detail brush and just outline some of the areas that you think should be darker. I'm outlining his eyes, adding a little bit of shading around his nose, and then also making that divided rabbit mouth. From there, I'm also adding a little bit of extra shading with my Made You Look eyeshadow brush and black eyeshadow and just coming in the cheekbones, kind of like contouring. See, now right here, I'm adding shading where I think the hat is supposed to go, but it turns out the hat actually sets a little bit lower than I thought. So I'll be making that even lower in a bit. But in the meantime, make his neck using Paradise Paint in Storm Cloud, and also fill in any negative areas with black. Be sure to also shade his neck and underneath his teeth. Now that I have my hat on, I'm continuing to add shading underneath the hat. I'm then using the Made You Look eyeshadow brush and going over the teeth in yellow from Mehron, and adding a little bit of orange to give the teeth some shading, a little bit of rotting kind of looking, and taking the Made You Look detail brush and black Paradise Paint to define the teeth. Going back to the Made You Look dome brush, I'm using dark gray eyeshadow and making little circles where his whiskers will go. Then taking the Made You Look detail brush and acrylic body paint from MAC, I'm creating his whiskers. For the body paint, I'm starting out with Mehron Paradise Paint in white and using the Made You Look eyeshadow brush and creating his collar. I'm then going in with Paradise Paint in purple and making a loop and then also connecting that to his collar. Using the Made You Look foundation brush, I'm applying Paradise Paint in red, and this pretty much just goes everywhere else. If you are going to be adding the gold underneath the purple, I'm using Mehron metallic powder in gold with mixing liquid. Connect his neck from your face down to the top of the purple collar, using Mehron Paradise Paint in Storm Cloud, and fill in any other negative space with black Paradise Paint. Using dark red eyeshadow, I'm going to be shading in his little flaps for the top, I don't know what they're called. And I'm just going to be making the outer shape of them and then using the same color to cast a shadow. From there, I'm also going to be adding other shadows on the shoulders, on the arms. I'm then going in with a dark purple eyeshadow and shading around the little puff of clothing that he has coming over his jacket. And because the Paradise Paint's already a pretty dark purple, I'm also going in with black. Don't forget to shade around his neck and finish up his collar just by adding stripes of gray going up.